Now this is another paper one style question. So this one is more of a trace table, but it's not exactly a whole trace table. So what they're asking us here is to give the first three numbers that get printed out by the algorithm. So we've got a dual for loop, so a nested for loop. So we've got k as a counter there, and then we've got p as a counter too, and they're both counting in ranges. So in Python, our range, if it starts at 0, ends at 3, it goes 0, 1, 2. So when it gets to 2, it's going to stop in this case, and in this case 0 to 5. So k at the start is 0. So then we move to the next line there, and its p is also 0. So then print k plus p. I'm not a big fan of doing calculations in a print statement, but this is from a paper, so we'll have to let them off. So k plus p, 0 plus 0 is 0. So then we've got to here, line 3, so we go back to the last time we had a for statement, which is here. So p increments, it becomes 1. So our output is k plus p, which is now 1 because it's 0 plus 1. We go back up again, p becomes 2, and then we are outputting 0 plus 2, which is 2. So then we go back up again, and p will be 3. We're going to output 3. P will be 4. We're going to output 4. And then we've reached the end of that one, so we'd go back up to this first loop, k, and then k would become 1. And then we'd go to p, and p would become 0 again, because we're starting again on that. So k plus p would be 1, and then p 1 plus 1, 2, etc. And we keep going. So the top loop will go 3 times, and the bottom one 5 times. So for each time we do the outer loop, the inner loop will go 5 times. So give the first 3 numbers. Well, the first 3 numbers are 0, 1, 2, as we just did in our trace table. How many times will line 3 be executed? Line 3 is the print statement. Well, 3 times 5 is 15. So that will be 15 because we're going through the outer loop 3 times, and each time we go through the outer loop, we go through the inner loop 5 times, and that's 15. I identified 2 basic programming constructs in the algorithm. Well, we've got iteration for the loop. So we've got 2 loops, which is iteration, and the line 4 and line 5 is sequence. So they didn't actually have anything to do with the rest of the question. They were just there to allow us to have a sequence, so we could write down sequence for this part of the question. So anything that's done one after another is sequence. Of course, the last one that we haven't done of basic programming constructs would be selection. So that's an if statement. We don't have one in this algorithm, but that's the other basic construct. So hopefully that helps you to see how this double or nested loop works.